first of all, obviously, I love watching y'all too on my screen. I'm always screaming, Kyland Taylor, but like I love watching you when you get to a task. And I feel like we get to see your mind work, right? Like I feel like we got to do this first, you got to do that. And I feel like I'd be like Taylor, like, I don't know what he doing. Like, how does this work? But I'm gonna trust the process. And and it works out. Like I'll be like, I don't know where that screw go. Kyland's like, there's a long screw, there's a short screw, and like it works out. So I love seeing that.
Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop.
And we are back with your Purple Pants podcast pit stop coverage of Amazing Race season 38. Feel like episode 7 just passed, so I feel like it's time for a checkpoint. I'm super excited to be here with my amazing, my talented, my purple co-host, Miss Brooke Camhi, the winner of Amazing Race season 29. Miss Brookie Poo, was popping with you?
Hi, buddy. How you doing? I went purple because today we are blessed to have with us in studio-ish, if that's how you call it these days. We have Team Purple, Kyland, and Miss Michigan, USA, Big Brother winner, Miss Congeniality, manure shoveler, Taylor Hale with us today for a check-in on our podcast. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. We're rocking.
I had to make sure I got it right.
No, we see the Team Purple of it, and it's all right. Brice has the Purple Pants sign behind him, so we'll take the.
We'll let
purple
slide for today.
Listen, I'm all purple all day, every day. Taylor,
Except
you know
for
what
today.
it is. Listen, I was going for love. I'm going for love, okay?
Yes, we love love.
That.
It's a good save, Brice. Good save.
So excited to have you two, but I am like dying to know, when you got the call that they wanted you to, how did you two prepare for Amazing Race? Like, what was the regimen? What did y'all do?
Y'all heard the Kanye workout plan. I was on the Kyland Young fitness plan. Like it was the supplements, the pre-workouts, and it's not just physical. Like, yeah, it was a very, very regimented physical plan, week by week preparation. But there was also we were doing physical puzzles. We were doing games every day. We talk every day just because we are to each other. We talk and text every day, but we changed, we went to WhatsApp and made our WhatsApp thread just our daily check-ins on our puzzle progress. So I won't say
what general train, everything else. And it's just and then, figuring out our own practice legs and just, I feel like that's the thing about the race that's so different from other shows. That it's not it's not at all a generalized skill set for the task. Typically it's just kind of it's too broad to you can't train on how to do the dances that are culturally native to 197 countries or whatever. And then that's just one element, so you duplicate those cultural differences for every single task. It would be too much, so it's just kind of okay, what are the general ways we could train and study and just be prepared as possible.
Now, it's so true. It's why I love the race, because it's the only show out there that I can think of where you don't have to just be the biggest or the strongest or the fastest. There are things that will equalize you if you're musical, if you're good with puzzles, if you're good with whatever strategy things or dexterity or whatnot. And you can tell that the two of you studied. And watching you, I hear things come out of your mouths where you can tell that you're students of the game and that you didn't just get a call and show up and say, what is this? We can do this. And so I give a lot of credit to that, because I think that I always like watching people who like the show and like the game to win. So I don't know. So don't tell us, because no spoilers, we'll get in trouble. But I do think that you guys are primed to make it to the end, and I am hoping cross the finish line first, because they're students, right, Brice?
I would say so. Now, I've known Kyland for a long time, and I know on Amazing Race they have dance challenges, and you got to learn a step. And Kyland, I have seen some TikToks. I've been around you a couple of times. Are you prepared for that?
So when I tell you, I had literal nightmares. I would wake up, during the race, even in the hotels and pit stops, and in a hot sweat, just trying to figure out like, oh my gosh, like what if we get to some sort of situation where we have to dance? And unfortunately that hasn't happened, at least not yet. And
I would always be like, don't worry, like any of the dance, I got it. I'm the dance girl. Like I got the dance. I was here, I did all this stuff. Like that's on me. Don't worry about it.
So it's for sure. Right now, it's just something to try and avoid. I think that's the good thing is that my partner's also very adaptable to things. So it's like we had the one detour where there was a dance option and the other one was juggling. It's just like, well, we don't know juggle, but like we know that the gap for Kyland learning how to dance will probably be further than the gap for both of us to learn how to juggle. And fortunately, that turned out to be true. So that was.
So you probably wouldn't have to do the dance 197 times or something ridiculous, whatever number of times Joseph had to juggle.
That was wild because they were right there with us. We thought they were just going to finish it and be like right on our tails, which is awesome because we want to be like a team that we're really close to. And so we crossed
even though they never mention our names as someone that they care about inconsistently. But I'm gonna assume it's just being cut out because I do love Joseph and Adam.
Yeah.
But it just is funny because every interview clip is showing them listing like, we're looking out for these 7 teams somehow like our name is skipped. Yep. And so it just is
and there's only 8 teams left.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, wait.
I will say, wait, were you gonna say
no?
I will say something that's like, I think for a clean narrative, you have to center around, okay, well, here's an alliance. They've said they're an alliance. They've made a name and they're around each other all the time. So we have to talk about that. But something that's kind of not annoying, but a little irritating is, we get, why did you give Jack and Jazz the express pass? Why are you making these decisions? People don't realize, like, I'll be cocky. Do you know who the fuck we are? This is Kyland Young, who is challenged super competitor. I've won Big Brother. I've won a pageant. I'm known for being
okay.
Every step of the way, we have to be super cognizant of the relationships that we have and maintain them and maintain the threat level. Even if we are 9th place 3 times in a row, it's only because we got a jacked up train. Like the second we had an opportunity to jump to the front, thank you, Kyland, we did that. So people don't realize.
Honestly, I actually think it served you so well to be 9th
really
place.
Did.
Yes.
Brice and I talk about this all the time because you two could have been first. And I think it would have been the biggest mistake that you guys could have made. And I know people will say to me, oh, but first place is never a mistake. Yes, it is. And I think that you guys, it worked so well in your favor. Now, we don't know what happens in the coming weeks, but I can assume if, based on online chatter that there will be another U-turn coming up, and I believe it's a vote. So who knows what's going to happen? But I think that actually being lower down at the beginning served you two so perfectly.
It really did. And what else I'll say about that is that, so, everyone is talking, the show is really focused on the alliance, but every step of the way where a decision had to be made, they were making decisions that benefited us in the back. So I have no doubt that they would explicitly say, we're doing this to protect Taylor Kyland. The, what was it? The beer, where you had to fill the beer bottles. Natalie and Stephanie made that decision with the help of their alliance. Jack and Chelsea should have been the ones that had less things to fill than us. And we're the ones that got the less amount of time or amount of containers to fill. Why? Because we built that relationship. Right. Moving forward, what else was it? There was something else they did that. The U-turn. The U-turn. Hello. Like, even though I didn't like, the larger implications of the U-turn, we were the ones that protected. And they explicitly told us as we were passing them, we cleared the board so that you guys would be good. So it's like these little things where people are like, why did they make these decisions? Literally every decision that we made benefited us. And then we finally got into a place where we were able to catch up and actually run the race that we wanted to run.
I love that. We see so much about the Trainwreck Alliance. How do you feel about it? Do you feel like you wish you were a part of it, or do you like the fact that you're not
asking me
a part of it and that you are kind of like separated from it? Because we see this week where it's like, especially on Amazing Race, the alliances can only last but so long. And I was screaming at Adam this week, like, put your passport up to the counter. The alliance is over. Like, what? Like, stop playing. Here you go.
Take it.
No, I mean, I will say that's something that that is such an interesting part of the game is trying to figure out where you can run your own race and where you want to look for help and where you're working with people. And I feel like them all being clustered together so long help solidify a lot of that desire to work together. But, you do got to make those decisions. And I feel like in general, that's something that people are watching the show and they're like, oh, it's Big Brother, so like there's all these alliances. It's like, well, no, teams have always worked together at various points. Maybe they're not calling it that, or maybe they're not talking about it as much, but the game in so many instances is also just like, get to the next leg however you can. So we saw teams like that were like, we just saw in I think that last episode, Adam and Joseph and somebody was working together with another team, like, hey, do you want to just work together on, it was the episode before that, do you want to just work together on this, on that roadblock? And it's just like, of course you would, because you want to. Well, I think they didn't.
They did.
Like, they did.
Not if you're Jack, right?
It was Stephanie
Which
and
I
Adam.
understand, and they didn't know where they were, so I get that. They don't know if they're last. So like in that scenario, but the ones who did know, Stephanie and Adam, when they knew that they weren't last, so they're like, hey, if the game is just don't be last, make it to the next leg. So let's make sure that we do that. And I feel like that's, that is the game in so many ways.
Yeah, you amazing race alumni, and you're like, bless you all. You all are wonderful and lovely and amazing. But I keep hearing it's a race for $1 million. It's a race for it's not a race for $1 million until you're in that last leg.
Okay.
So I will
tell you, I never said that. Never said it, because I think there's nothing more obnoxious than telling some cab driver in some country that we're in a race. They don't give a shit for $1 million. Like, I gotta be friends with your cab drivers, be friends with everyone that you can around you, your judges, be kind. I saw you guys doing that a bit, Taylor, where you were like, this is beautiful, right? This is the best manure Brooke you've ever seen in your life. Like, be friendly and be kind. The judges don't make those decisions behind the scenes, but still, it's something to be said for keeping everybody's morale up. But it is funny how many times people will say it's a race for $1 million, and A, nobody cares, and B, you're right, no, it's not until you're in the final three, which I'm hoping I see you in. I have a question. Taylor, you did a season of Big Brother where it was a lot of just you against the world. So I am very curious to know, how is it doing another show with someone that you could rely on every step of the way, like as part of a team? Because you killed Big Brother, but you killed it by yourself. So how was it having someone to lean on here, and Kyland having such a strong partner to lean on for you as well?
Oh my God. I think that's where that's what I struggled with the most, honestly, going throughout the entire race. Like, I'm so used to, if I let anybody down, I'm only letting myself down. And just by the way that this race was shaping out, I mean, even with this leg, the top 3 teams were all the brother teams, all of them. And we come in 4th place, and I have the youngest, strongest man by my side. And so, we got lost on this leg. This was in an episode. I lost the clues. I put the clues down at, we had to change our shoes into water shoes before we got on the raft. I put the clues down there. We go on the raft. We come back. The clues are gone. Somebody took our clues. And so I'm like, everything that went wrong on this leg was because of something that I did. And that was really hard for me. So I went mute. I shut down on this leg, and you can't do that when you have a partner. And I think that's what's been so hard for me. Even, coming off Big Brother, people had a lot of stuff to say about the people on my season. And I was like, don't go and send hate to them, just send positivity to me. For me, coming off this episode, watching Kyland get all these strays online of he's being condescending and he's talking down to her. I'm like, I'm not even communicating. I'm shut down the whole time. And he's just like, okay, I need this from you. Okay, you mess up the directions. We can't do this, but we got to do it this way. You're just direct and communicating with someone who is just a wall and shut down. And so it's I know that there's so much to get into and all of that, but for me, I am used to only letting myself down, and I can be hard on myself. No one's harder on me than I am. Letting down my partner that I care about so much and putting him in a position where he has to take on all that weight, that was tough too, because it's you're out of your body. You see it happening and you want to be a better partner. You want to be a better competitor. And I really struggled with that too. I'm a really good competitor, but I don't always feel like I got to show that up to this point, and for many reasons on the race. And then I'm doing this next to a super competitor. I'm like, I am good at things. I know I'm good at things, but when my partner is good at everything, or damn near everything, I'll say, it's where do I fall? Where am I capable? So
wait till you have to dance. Then you'll just shine.
Yeah. But so he was just so supportive. We had a lot of team rules on the race. And I think it was really important for us on this one. both of us can't be down at the same time. And I think we really saw, Benji, we saw a lot of that where like I was shut down during this leg and he was the one really just propelling and keeping us forward. And like, even in your frustration, you're like, okay, I'm going to communicate in a calm demeanor. And so, yeah, like it was a struggle for me. It's way easier when you can only let yourself down and not have to rely on anybody else. Doing it with somebody else, especially when like the stakes are so high, it's a lot to carry.
Yeah.
No,
Kyland, you give me the names of the people who are bothering you, and I will take care of them. Because honestly, the two of you having a down leg was still so much higher than
hold on. Oh no! Right now, the people who are bothering me are the CBS producers of this show, or whoever set this up. Because I feel like 5 shows in, I've actually never had the issue of like I've messed up. I've said things that I shouldn't have said, and I have so I've never had any issues with like. Like there's an editing issue. I'm like, no, that's just me. But then this time it was kind of the most egregious I've seen in my years of I've been doing this. Because literally we have a conversation where we get out of the car before the thing, and we were having like we were irritated in the car. So I get out and I just was like, hey, let's reset. Like, let's talk. Let's chill. Like, hey, we and it's like, well, we got to go. And I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't matter. Like we're going to do this race for $1 million. It's like, but then we still lose if we hate each other. So why wouldn't we instead want to like zero in? We don't want to be upset. We don't want to be sloppy. Like, we just want to make sure that we're feeling good, that we love each other, that we're in touch, all those things. And then it was like, cool. And it was like, cool. Yeah. All right. So and it's like, yeah, because none of that matters. Like we might as well just sit here and like cool down and feel good. And then we'll move on. And then it's like, cool. So I'm like, wait. So I'm like, cool. Let me finish. I'm sorry.
I'm just so angry about it. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm not angry. So then I was like, okay, cool. Like, so now I'm dialed back in the race. So I turn around and head out and close the door, and the door, I guess, hits her. And then so the episode's just, hey, let's not be sloppy. And then me hitting her with the door and running off. And I was like, nah, that's actually out of pocket. Like, that's kind of malicious at this point, is what it felt like. And so I'm like,
Kyland, when I tell you, you got
you showed me assaulting a woman with a car.
You didn't assault a woman with a car. When I tell you, the editing is so. I'll talk to the internet. Don't you worry, because they actually at one point showed me hysterical crying, but I'm holding my elbow because I'd fallen and I'd previously broken my elbow and I landed right on it. And they actually, it's the only time that my cameraman stopped filming for maybe 30 seconds and was like, "Are you okay? Is something broken?" I was like, "I'm fine. Turn it back on. Let's go." So they showed me crying to make it look like I was an emotional disaster. And then they showed me fall. And I was like, I'm crying because I fell. Like, guys, come on. I get you're telling a story about this nut job who never stops crying, but like, let's be fair about it. So I get it. Yeah. No one thinks you assaulted. Taylor, do you feel assaulted?
Do you feel assaulted?
Then I think we're okay.
Crazy.
I'll have words with the sorry.
Oh my God.
Kyland, when you got off of Big Brother, you were very vulnerable, and I thought it was amazing talking about your discovery of being neurodivergent. And we live in a society that they place neurodivergent like they are others. And I feel like it is your absolute superpower to know things about yourself and to know that you're different. I think that we live in a society where it's like, if you're different, you're looked at as othered, right? How do you feel like that has impacted your game on Amazing Race?
I think that I agree. I appreciate what you're saying. I always say it is good to know more about yourself. The more you know about yourself, the more you can understand like how you operate and how you're perceiving certain things. And so I feel like I benefit a lot from having more understanding of my brain and like ADHD and autism and where those things show up in my life and both positives and negatives. And so for the race, so the cool thing is that with these shows that I've been doing, the social, like the gaps that there are observations I may miss in things, because I just process things differently in interpersonal communication. They impact me in the game, because when I meet people quickly in small interactions, it's easy for me to, put on the mask and interact in a way that people don't feel that gap as much, usually for the most part. And then, but when you're spending months in a place with people, then you can't always do that as much. The good thing on the race is that it is a lot less of a social game. Like, obviously, as we've talked about, they matter, but at the end of the day, it is just how well you can lock in with your partner on getting done whatever you need to get done. And Taylor's just, incredibly understanding throughout the race and throughout like understanding all those logistics of like of what we need to do and how we can communicate that. And like she said, we were really good about putting like agreements in place to have, to how we want to operate, because it is really difficult to be in these high stress situations if you haven't prepared for how you're going to navigate them. And so I think that was, so I even right now I'm thinking, I'm like, your question prompted so many thoughts that I'm like, wow, I hope something that I said actually addressed some part of it at least. I'm not sure.
You addressed all of it. I love, first of all, obviously, I love watching y'all too on my screen. I'm always screaming, Kyland Taylor, but like, I love watching you when you get to a task. And I feel like we get to see your mind work, right? Like, I feel like we got to do this first, you got to do that. And I feel like I'd be like, Taylor, like, I don't know what he doing. Like, how does this work? But I'm going to trust the process. And it's like, and it works out. Like, I'll be like, I don't know where that screw go. Kyland's like, there's a long screw, there's a short screw, and like it works out. So I love seeing that. I be lost sometimes, but I'm like, he get the job done.
Taking notes, like when we're watching the guy do the fish, I'm taking notes. When the guys giving me, I'm getting showed it. When I was getting instructions for the horses on the track, like
that might have been a little too much notes. I mean, the horse notes where it was like, don't yell at the horse. Like that made me laugh so
because you missed the easy
taking
thing.
Notes on the
you get
horse.
Excited. Yeah, you get excited. You're yelling.
All credit to you, dude.
Or like we saw, people were just like, "Oh, I need to like let it forward to move them forward." It's like, yeah, he said that, but like in your brain, you're on adrenaline, and so you'll miss stuff. So I'm like, let me just write it down so 100%. I don't miss it. And it worked.
I would like to say that I actually thought it was really great that they showed the two of you a few episodes back in the car and how you communicate and the ways that you communicate, and talking a little bit more about, Kyland, the way your brain works and how the two of you work together in sort of recognizing that and correcting. I also think it's hilarious where you're saying, you want to talk beforehand about, who's going to do what and all of these rules that you put in place. Because I didn't know my partner, but we tried to make rules on leg one. Dude, they went out the window in 10 seconds. How you two had the wherewithal and the thought process to be able to keep those rules in check as you're now at leg 7 of the race. I give you so much credit, because it's such if anyone who hasn't done it doesn't know, it's like so hectic and so chaotic. And you two are just like a calming force there. It's I mean, I don't know what happens next.
I appreciate that it looks that way, but I mean, we did not implement these rules perfectly by any means. Like, there was a leg where I totally lost my cool and screamed at him in the middle of very white Czech Republic. Like, it was, we did our best, but like, there were less rules, more guidelines. They were like our checkpoints. Like, oh, we're not doing this. Hey, remember, we're going to abide by this. Or a lot of things were like, as we're going, we have to readjust or realign. So I think like having this, it was like our constitution, a living, breathing document of things that can be amended as we went. And that was a really cool thing to be like. We even did after action reports. So we'd finish a leg, they give you snacks, we do our interviews. When we go back to our hotel room, it was laundry, after action report, and like foot massages, because my body was getting fucked up on the whole thing. And so it's like, okay, AAR, write it down. What went well? What didn't went well? What can we improve on? What do we need to implement for the next leg? And I mean, we still have our whole notebook of all of it.
And it's like there's also, I just wanted to comment too, because Taylor was talking about being, struggling with like her competitiveness. And it's just like, she is I think us being locked into Europe resulted in a lot more driving and running and so like physicality. And so in general, it is there was just so many times where she was hard on herself. I'm like, no, like you are performing well. You're performing exactly as like you, like none of us can be the best at everything. And I think that, she wants to be the best at everything. No, she wants to be the best at everything and is hard on herself when she's not. And so it's just like, no, like we just need to get this done. Like, it's okay. It's not about, like, obviously it is a race, but it's not about like like being hard on yourself for not being able to outperform in a way that like isn't even needed, and so while still doing great. So I think that I just wanted to call attention to her on that. And then also I feel like the other element of it too, when I say like the physicality, is that like, you know, you see us on the boat when we're like rowing and people are just like, oh, like, why don't like you let her help? I'm like, because I don't know how long the leg is and she's tired and I'm not. And I need to make sure that she's not tired when we get off of this boat. So how I'm doing the best I can with that. And I think it's kind of crazy too, because obviously the show is showing us all the struggles.
I was rowing wrong too.
Well, oh no, that was the other boat. That was the law. That was the raft.
Yeah.
So the raft, yeah, that's a whole. That was.
Every turn on this leg where I could have been wrong about something, I was wrong, and I swore I wasn't wrong so many parts of the time. It literally got to a point
and you still finished 4th. Like, come on, man.
Got to the next leg, and I was like, "Hey, you all are rowing it this way, right?" And they're like, "No, you had to do it that way." And I was like,
"Hold on, no, yeah." I was like, "Oh, yes, okay, sure, yeah. No, well, so many things. I mean, because the raft is basically they gave us sticks to push your way along because it's a super shallow like little pond, and she didn't know that, so it was just a stick, and she was just putting it in the water, and I was like, oh no,
she's ready to go. I'm with you,
like,
Taylor.
That's what I was saying in the video when I'm like, hey, I'm moving the boat because like I was moving it because she couldn't also reach with like balancing because our weight's different too, so like so many things. But to her credit, and once again, frustration a little bit. Not something that happened to her is when we did the skydiving, I was like, hey, make sure you talk to your instructor, because I went to skydiving school a few years back, so like I've done a decent amount of jumps.
Okay.
And so
list it off, Kyland. Okay.
Skydiving
school.
Everything.
Okay.
I was like, hey, tell him, because they can track. It's called tracking. He can dive basically to slide because she's jumping out third. But I was like, he could pass the other people. So she does pass.
Is that how she passed the people?
That's how she passed them. Because she's like, hey, we don't want to I just need to get to the ground first. And he did. And by a good chunk of time, but I guess logistically on the ground, there was some confusion between the people handing the envelopes and the instructors and production. So like we ended up getting our envelope last or second to last.
I know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So we jump. And here's another thing about skydiving. They don't tell you that like when people in the plane jump out before you, it sounds like an explosion, like a suction and explosion. Doosh! Like it's loud and scary. And so you see me smiling, Joseph goes out and I'm like, oh. And then we're inching forward. I'm like, okay. We go. And I was like, we're going down. Just get us down there first. Beautiful, super fun. It's like it's peaceful and calm. I love when Paige goes. It just feels like you're falling the whole time. It felt like so serene.
Like Paige felt differently, right?
So cool. She's so funny. We touched down first, and I thanked the instructor, and he's like fiddling with the parachute, trying to get it together. I unbuckle. I think Kyland has the clue. Something y'all don't know this. We were on standby to go skydiving for 2 hours?
Oh,
maybe 3 hours.
Yeah.
Because the weather, they kept sending a plane up to test the weather, and it was too windy. So they sent a plane up without us in it, test it, come down. Send it up, test it, come down. To the point where, Phil shows up. We're all in our skydiving gear. We do the whole test and everything. Poor Natalie's scared of that. She's crying, trying to like get herself together.
And they have them dive through the clouds, which is like not typical, but for tandem, but awesome.
So see, and he knows. And so literally it's like kiss and go, say goodbye. They get carted off, driven off somewhere. We have no idea where they're going.
Hours. Oh, really? It's more. Yeah, it's more than it was. It
was half the day. We were waiting around, fully suited up, ready to jump.
Wow.
And we're just waiting for hours. Phil's there. He's telling a story about how he got his job. Super fun. And that's why we ended up doing that little promo when we're all in our jump outfits. Like, do the Amazing Race. We're there for 3, 4, 5 hours. We go in the sky. Kyland's like, tell him to get you down first. Do the tracking. We go down there. We land. I unbuckle, thank the instructor, run over to Kyland, jump in his arms, and I'm on an adrenaline high. I'm like, oh my God, I just skydived for the first time in my life. And I get off and I go, where's the clue? And he's like, you don't have it? I'm like, no. And we look over and they say, run back to your instructor.
Hey.
Benji's pissed that you didn't have the clue.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Where the clue at?
Where the clue at? So I run back to the instructor and I go, hi, can I have the clue? He doesn't have the clue. He gets called over to the sideline by the show. They give him the clue. Then they have to run back over to me and give me the clue. In that time, Tucker and Joseph have both touched down, gotten their clues, and run off already. So the rule was, that was not privy to any of us jumping or waiting. Everybody had to dive. Everybody had to touch down before anybody could be given their clue. So even though I got down there first, I couldn't just like take my clue and go, because I guess it would require production to walk into the landing area to give somebody a clue to give to me. But I'm like, well, then just tell me to walk off the dive area. You know what I'm saying? So that was frustrating. And I'm not a runner. I did my best to get my running up.
Hi. Same.
Yeah. So we had to run from the jump point or the landing point.
Good amount of running.
Like half a mile?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But it's in like a rough terrain. And
a lot of stuff.
And then to the sheep, and then back from the sheep, and then into your car. That seemed like a run heavy leg. Yeah.
And so it's just little things like that where it's like, I got there first. If you gave me the clue first, maybe we could have gotten to the pins first or second, and maybe we would have chosen a sheep
pin. Non-malicious sheep, the non-demon sheep.
The damn Serta sheep jumping out like I'm counting them to go to sleep.
Oh my gosh.
So it's little things like that were just frustrating. But
that's what I was saying. I like animals, and animals tend to like me, and that is pretty consistent cross species, apparently, except for sheep. Sheep are
demons.
Sheep are soulless. At least Romanian sheep are soulless animals. I was staring into their blank eyes, and I was like, "Oh, you guys just feel hate, apparently." And then at least ours, like I said, the fact that we were watching, and that was the other thing, is we also, maybe shame on us, we picked the booth that was right in front of like where everyone from production was gathered. So like even in the episode, I could watch Joseph and Tucker pushing the sheep, and like I would try and push a sheep, like, no, don't handle them like that. You have to just guide them. And I was like, okay, so I'll use. And then not only that, to make it crazier, because two of our sheep escaped. One of them escaped into another pin where we couldn't even get to. The guy had to, the shepherd who runs the place had to come and get him. And when he grabs him, he's manhandling the hell out of this sheep. He grabs the horns and is just yanking him. And I'm like, that's how the professional moves them, guys. And you say I can't touch them? What do you want? They already stabbed me with their horns. What more? Like, yes, like they were, and I was like, it was, that's why I was just like, something's, it was a rough situation.
That's a janky sheep.
I enjoy lamb a lot more now.
Oh, not lamb.
Oh, it's like they're delicious.
We're making lamb chops. I love a lamb chop.
Brooke and I, we've been doing a summer rewatch, and we watched 2 older seasons, the last 2 summers. And on both of the seasons, there tends to be a time where the teams gather and they get to hang out. And we don't normally get to see that on the newer seasons, but it seemed like
we did have that.
A bunk party. Like what was happening that we didn't get to see? Because I felt like I wanted to see more of that.
Listen, that could have been an episode in its own right. And a lot of things that happened during that overnight stay are incredibly consequential for the future.
Interesting.
I will say, like, this is where I really started to like break down. We just saw 2 female teams go home in a row. We're finally at the front of the pack, which is we're celebrating. We're so excited. But then, we're on the plane. I'm the only woman on this plane with all the brothers in Kyland. And we get to this. First of all, our taxi situation was wild. Those Romanian taxi drivers are something else. Our taxi driver didn't want to take us and didn't want to take us and didn't want to take us. And we get in and he's driving all crazy and he's complaining the whole time. Oh, I don't want to drive here. It's going to ruin my car. It's going to ruin my car. And we're like, are you driving us or not? We get up there, everybody pulls up like Mario Kart. And so we're there around 4:00 in the afternoon, daylight. We have a little bit of food. We have our bunk beds. And it's just this giant sausage party. Like all the guys are like hanging out, playing cards. And I was like, Kyland, like go mingle. Like we got to show face. And I was just in the trailer and I was like, just journaling, trying to study. And I felt so alone. Like there were, I don't even think we had a female camera team was there. It was men just all men were there, except for maybe like one executive producer, I think. And so it was just a very isolating experience. And again, like, to Kyland's credit, was always super supportive and like holding space for me to be really upset about it, having a lot of empathy for that, but also like, doing your role of bridging that gap.
Right.
And so, like, you saw firsthand, Kyland got to see firsthand a lot of the ways where the race is inequitable for women, but also we are running the race for us, not anyone else, even though we try to make it fair in other capacities. So it was a very lonely experience as the only women in that aspect. And then when the rest of the team showed up, like they pull up like Mario Kart, pull tickets, bust into the rooms. And so it was really fun to be reunited with everybody. There's a part where it's just Chelsea and I, because Chelsea and Jack shared the overnight container with us. And there was a conversation that Chelsea and I had. Chelsea's asking me who got U-turned, or like who did the U-turning on the board. And I said, the boys, Tucker and Eric, Jag and Jazz. And Chelsea's like, okay, well, who's going to get U-turned?
Joseph.
Sorry. Who did the U-turn? It was Joseph and Adam and Jag and Jazz. And she was like, you think there's going to be another U-turn? I said, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. She goes, okay, well, like, who you think's going to get U-turn? And I was like, well, the boys. The boys being the boys who've been placing in first the last few legs, we are going to, being Tucker and Eric. So we mentioned all of these guy team names. That conversation is overheard because, yeah, the trailers are paper thin. Like, we were sitting up against literally against the wall. And there was a point where I told Chelsea and Jack when they first came in, I was like, hey, keep your voices down because they can hear everything. I'm not stupid enough to have a conversation that I'm afraid is going to be overheard in the next room. So allegedly, Jag and Jazz believe that they heard me saying that Kyland and Taylor are going to be U-turning Jag and Jazz in the upcoming U-turn. That's what they think they heard. That's what
it was more of a matter of interpreting the complaints about the observations that Taylor was just talking about, and conflating that with like, oh, okay, so she wants to target all of the guy teams, and they want to target all the guy teams, and then putting that together with Eric's misunderstanding of that in the conversation, gentleman's agreement thing, being him telling Jazz that, and then relaying it in a way that made Jazz think that we were after them somehow,
which doesn't make sense because in the airport flying to Croatia, right?
I don't know what you're gonna say. So
Jack just told us that in the airport flying.
Yeah, probably.
Budapest. Leaving Budapest in the airport, flying into Croatia. We had a quick, like, literally the cameras were up from after we went through security, walking to the gate. They were like, you're gonna have like 5 minutes to have quick conversations with the people you walk through security with. And so Jag and Jazz talked to us. Cameras are up. Jag and Jazz come over and they're like, hey, like, we made an agreement with Tucker and Eric that we're not going to U-turn them and they're not going to U-turn us. And then one of them said, yeah, it's a gentleman's agreement. And so I'm like, okay, well, it's good information to know, but like, fuck a gentleman's agreement. Cameras go down. We're sitting in the waiting area to board the plane. And I'm just like fuming. I'm like, what does this mean? Thanks for telling us this. Like, I'm glad you're sharing this information with us. That means you want to be working together, but how is that ultimately going to impact us? And so
where's our agreement?
So we get to the U-turn board. We see 2 male teams U-turning 2 female teams. And so says, all right, looks like there's a gentleman's agreement. It's like, so what are the ultimate ramifications of that? Even though this happened to protect me and Kyland, then that cut forward where Eric overhears Kyland narrating what's happening, and then it being cut into the episode as new information that Eric is sharing with Jazz, and then Jag and Jazz have a confessional being like, what does this mean for us and Kyland and Taylor? It's like, how is that 1 + 1 is equaling 2? Y'all told us this existed. This isn't some new information. So all of that is ruminating, stewing, as we're going into the overnight containers in the boonies, boonies of Romania, the countryside of Romania, where you hear stray dogs barking in the night. And then, I'm not even joking, stray dogs barking in the night. Joseph, of course, is trying to play with them. I'm like, get the fuck away from me.
I would too.
No. The girls pull up, and finally, I'm like, oh my God, relief. We see some confrontation. We go to bed. We wake up the next morning, suit up to go skydiving. And while we're suited up to go skydiving, it's like, kiss, love you, bye. They drive off however, to the meet point, the landing point, we are waiting to skydive for hours. More than 3 hours for sure, half the day at least, because the weather wasn't right to go skydiving.
Right.
And so we're suited up. We've done all of our instructional stuff, whatever. While we're doing that, Paige and Jazz are having their confrontation. And when I tell you they are going back and forth and back and forth, like it's on like Donkey Kong. Those two went back and forth. Cameras are up for the whole time. Actually, no, the cameras are not up for the whole time because the cameras go down because they got enough content and they're still going at it. Those two, like, they don't quit. They keep going. Finally, conversation ends, subdues. We jump, we do the race, but it's like everything that happened at that meet point was consequential, is consequential. It's like the culmination of everything that was happening to that point and really a good jump off point for the rest of the season. So there's like, that's a lost file that makes me so sad because as we were studying for the race, we started with the old school seasons and like some of the best meet are those meetup points or those overnight points.
Right.
Blocked. It's like, okay, well now you all have to wait until this time, sleep outside. Like we have inklings of that in this season, but the stuff that happened at the overnight was just so good and quality that I'm kind of shocked it wasn't even like throw it up online for some extra behind the scenes
right?
content.
I don't even think they do that anymore. They did that back when my season, they had YouTube behind the scenes footage that would be put up on YouTube.
That was 1842 or 1847.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. You want me to tell people how old you are?
Hey, Brooke.
We are all Googleable. Don't play.
Listen, but Google
Bryce,
lies.
Bryce has scrubbed Google.
Now, okay. Actually, you know what? This is a good. Oh, I'm getting excited. Kyland and Taylor, since y'all have done y'all history of Amazing Race, I need for you guys to help settle a debate on this podcast.
Okay.
So just would like for you to know, what is your definition of a elimination?
Then you can ask it. Elimination.
Of a what?
Elimination.
Are you talking about like when he comes out to meet them at the spot?
I think it's to go and meet you at the location.
Okay, great. Okay, hold on, wait. Let me audience time out. Hold on, audience.
Wait, what's the other version?
The next question I have, Kyland Taylor. If you are actively doing a challenge, you quit. And Phil comes out, is that still a elimination in your opinion?
You didn't ask it right. You didn't ask it right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. What's the question? Ask the question. She's gonna watch how she do this. Go ahead.
No, we all agree that if you're actively racing and everyone's checked in and Phil comes to get you on the race course, elimination, and says you're out of the game, elimination. Bryce wants to know if you are racing and everyone else is checked in and you decide we can't do this, we quit, we don't want to race anymore, and Phil comes to you on the race course and says you're eliminated, is that a elimination?
Oh, that's like a half, but like it's like a text.
But you wouldn't know that they quit already because you're actively doing the challenge.
Phil wouldn't come to you unless everybody else
let him answer.
Bryce.
Brooke, let him answer.
Wait. No. Sorry. What did you mean, Bryce? That confused me.
Like if you are like say it's the needle in the haystack, or like or say it's the sheep, like, and people have moved on to other things, and you're just there by yourself, and you're actively going at it, and then you just kind of like say all the other teams have checked in, but you don't know you're still doing the challenge, and then you like, you know what, we're gonna have to call it quits, and then Phil comes out and does his thing. Is that a elimination?
I mean, I guess I feel like if you're quitting, then that's you quitting, right? Like I don't know. I guess I think of it that, but
That's it, King. Thank you, King.
So. I think a quit is a quit.
Thank you.
Here's I'll jump
wait, but what's the scenario where you're just got? Sorry, I wanted.
Go ahead, Brooke.
Something.
The elimination is the act of Phil coming out on the race course and saying your race is over. Whether you're still trying or whether you said we've quit. 1.5 million teams have said I quit and don't actually, like, you can't leave until Phil says go home? Like, what if it's a non-elimination leg? You can sit there and say, we don't want to play anymore, but nobody will come to you if it's a non-elimination leg. By virtue of Phil coming to you and saying your race is over, that's the elimination.
Well, what happens if that happens? What happens if you quit?
Yeah,
and it's non-elimination leg.
It's never happened.
What do you think they would do? Yeah, I know, but what do you think they would do?
I think they would let you sit there forever unless you say, we want to go home. We're not going to be doing anything anymore. And then I don't even think Phil would come to you. I think they would say goodbye. Like, I think the elimination doesn't matter if you said we're not trying anymore, because a million teams have said, I quit. And then they're not actually, it's not over until Phil says,
I guess I wonder, I think the difference of like saying I quit and then the act of like, we are no longer trying this.
Yeah.
And saying down. I think that's the difference. So I feel like if they just said it, that would be one thing. But then if they come, that's how I'm interpreting it. But
what was Dusty and Ryan?
But they didn't quit. Yeah, they just said
yeah. So like,
that's what I'm saying.
But let's say they did say, I quit. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. We're so far behind. I quit. And then you talk to your partner and you're like, look at the sun. Look at everything over here. Look how far you've come. And then I guess, the difference is going back in there and trying. And then it ended up being a non-elimination leg. But like, I don't know. Here's my thing. I think about over in Kyland's World, the challenge. Like, if you say I quit something, TJ comes in and is like, you're a quitter, and I don't respect quitters. Get the fuck off my show. But so
that's a TJ elimination.
A TJ elimination. So TJ Lavin.
That's a lavination as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
That sounds like a Bible verse. But so it's like,
sounds like something weird.
I guess that's an interesting debate. Like, if you, because you can quit at any time in the race, right? Even if you're in last place, you could be on your way to first place and get super lost and still be in first place and be like, you know what? Actually, I think you could even get to the first place and check in and be like, thanks so much. We're done racing. We quit. So then, like, you know what I'm saying? You could be in
that's on the map. I just think Phil coming to you on the course is the act of the elimination. So quit, don't quit, still trying, not trying, sitting there twiddling your thumbs. Phil comes to you and says it's over. Elimination.
We appreciate that, but we
need to see elimination,
brother. We have the Manure Queen here giving us. We have the answer. Thank you so much, Taylor and Kyland. Now, Taylor.
Yes.
No, I'm a girl's girl over here. I was so excited when I saw you and Chelsea were on the season and you popped out in that promo with them braids. I said, come on, Taylor. Can you just talk about like what was your decision about like how I'm gonna wear my hair? Let me put it in the braids, because I feel like on Survivor and Amazing Race, historically, when we see our Black queens on these shows, they like, I ain't about to be flat ironing no hair. I'm about to, we got to put it in the braid. Like, can we talk about that for a second? Because you looked amazing.
Thank you. So that was kind of twofold, right? Like, first, we were very aware that we are a double Black team racing around. At the point we thought the world, because you know, we both from the same place.
Okay, girl.
The Bronx. Anyway,
the Bronx. Taylor, get off of this podcast, Taylor.
So we think we're racing around the world, and I remember, even starting with Kyland. Kyland's like, how low should I cut my hair, or like. We're like, do I keep the curls? Do I do braids? Like, that was a conversation that we had, because we were like, what's going to make us the most approachable, the most friendly? So that's one layer that we both had to consider. And then just for functionality, we did one backpack. Okay. Even if we did two backpacks and I had to carry my own shit, I was not carrying conditioner, shampoo. They both had to be travel size, and a flat iron, and a press and comb, and a blow dryer. Cause you know, the European blow dryers are not going to do shit for my hair. I need an attachment. Like, of all the space that we have in one pack that he's carrying for the entire race, we need to be the most efficient and effective as possible. So what was that for me? Putting my hair up in some beautiful, beautiful braids. I'll drop the name of the girl who put them on Instagram in a hot second. They were amazing, super functional. They were really lightweight. I've gotten braids before that have been like kind of heavy or a little too intricate. These were just super perfect, super functional. I could put up in a ponytail, still look good. Y'all saw that shot of me walking to the plane?
Girl, we saw the shot of you flying out the plane. The hair was
the hair. And then, you know, even in our confessionals or in the downtime when I finally was able to take my hat off, like you see just these beautiful braids that are long. They look like hair and curly. So it's still like Afrocentric and it still felt like me, but it also took the added emotional labor of considering how I present myself literally to the world on TV and in interpersonal interactions with people that might not interact with Black Americans all that much. So it was cool, like showing up there and looking and seeing Chelsea had her braids, I had my braids, and I was like, all right, girl, like we're here.
We see each other.
Yeah.
I love that. Kyland, did you have your Shea moisturizer? Did you have the travel size? Because your curls were popping.
No, I did. You know, I got to stay presentable, and I don't use as much stuff, so it's just as easy to have like the 2 small travel size things, and yeah, I think
know what you use.
Yeah, it's the inner sense and the makeup, but the
y'all hear that?
but no,
that smells good.
That's his belt, inner sense and a makeup.
But the I wanted to go back because I remember another thought came when Taylor was talking about when we were at the Romania in the overnight thing, and she was talking about like being surrounded by old men. I feel like sometimes it's easy for men to watch and not think anything of that because they haven't experienced it. And I feel like that's just it is not as common for men to be in like women dominated spaces. Like she said, even on the production side, like it's just fully surrounded. So I think I would just give a reminder of like, hey, like, you know, you probably haven't experienced it. And then even if you do, it would still, there'd be so many other layers to that, what that would be like. But more so to people who haven't experienced it, it's very different, especially when all of these things are on the line and so many other feelings and emotions. And I think that I would hate for somebody to watch and dismiss it or not think of that or what it's like. How these things impact people in different ways.
I think people often forget when we did the diversity initiative, it wasn't just for people of color, like it's equity for women, it's equity for trans. And so I think that it's a prime example of like what we are talking about. And still in 2025 on The Amazing Race, we still have these type of issues and spaces. And so I think that it's important for us to talk about it. So again, thank you, Kyland and Taylor, for bringing that up. Brooke, do you want to bring us home? Do you have our final question?
Yes. So you did talk about it a little bit. So one of the things I like to ask everybody, I like to just sort of open the floor up to whoever our guests are to fill in any narrative that you feel that the show has missed or anything that you haven't been asked by any other podcast or that you want to share that nobody has asked you and you want to talk about. So is there anything that you're itching to talk about that either no one's asked you yet before or that happened that you want to clear up? And I know we talked a little about that behind the scenes information, but I'll open it up to you guys if there's anything you want to share with the people who are watching.
Talked about the gentleman's agreement, talked about the overnight, talked about what was misheard at the overnight.
I know, nothing's coming to mind. I feel like we did so much of that.
Yeah,
I know.
Unprompted. So I'm trying to think of anything.
Or is there anything that you guys did in one of your tasks that wasn't shown that was really, really fun and great, or anything that they did show where you're like, I wish they'd shown this part differently?
Oh my God, the sheep. Okay, so this is so small. I'm sure you remember this. So when sheep number 1 jumped, did sheep number 1 jump to the next pen or out of the pen?
I think just out.
Okay, so sheep number 1 jumped out of the pen, and that's what we saw in the episode. Sheep number 2 jumped into the pen next door. MacGyver over here brought bungee cables on the race. And so he was like,
I don't know who trained you. Someone taught you well. Continue.
They're clearly trying to crawl over each other, the sheep, to like jump out of the pen. And so he's like, you know what? No. And he got the pack, took it off, pulled out the bungee cords, and like tied them up so that the sheep wouldn't be able to get through.
Well, not
the sheep. Yeah, he didn't tie the sheep up.
That's why they didn't want Kyland touching the sheep.
The corner of the pen where they were all gathering to try and get out. I just made a ceiling.
You made a roof. Yes, got it. I understood.
At least one of them got caught in it because they were still trying to jump out.
Yeah.
For some reason, we have the jumpers.
Honestly, the second Taylor started talking about the sheep, Kyland's face was like, oh my God, this is so sheep. We have to talk about them again. I get it. Yeah. Next time you're here, we'll go out for a sheep dinner.
Yeah.
Mutton.
We making lamb on finale night, wherever we are. That's for sure. But I just like this very small, quick thinking things he's always doing. Oh my God, the shipwrecks. Oh my God. Okay. So we pull up to, we call them shipwrecks. I'm sorry. We call them shipwrecks.
That's
They literally,
manure.
they literally walked over to us and they were like, hey,
To everybody.
to everybody. They're like, hey, like, can you please call it processed manure bricks that you're building? We were like covered in shit. We were like,
in processed manure,
yeah,
right?
okay. And so actually, no, I'm gonna talk about this leg some more because here we are.
Come on.
So we clearly were like having a little bit of little tip for tat, getting a little bit of tips in the car because I'm not communicating, he's communicating, I'm not communicating. We have our reset, and we get to the shipwrecks, we're running up there, and we're just like, okay, everyone's still here. We're gonna just bang this out. We're either gonna jump a spot, maintain spot, like we're in a good place, right? And so I'm still a little bit like a little hissy. I wasn't a hissy fit, but I was still a tizzy. Okay. And so we watched the demonstration.
Only my biggest hissy fit were that. This was like a one, Taylor. Okay.
No, correct. This is the one that was shown. My biggest one was not shown. That we passed, that was not shown. Release the tapes, honestly. It should get out. At least so people know, like, I'm not this perfect, kind princess all the time. Let me be a mess sometimes, okay? So anyway, we pick our little spot, and then so we both start. Oh my God, this is such a shit show. We both start working on the bricks. We're reading the clue. We're working on the bricks. We're mixing the manure and the water and the hay and the dirt and everything. A little bit of the shit literally explodes into Kyland's eye, and Kyland's like, he has hard contacts, and so like you can't mess with those contacts. I have 20/20 vision, so I don't know glasses and contact things. But like I've been learning through him, like the hard contact are things you could not mess with. So the shit gets in his eye, and I'm like already frustrated, not figuring this out very well. And Kyland's just like, my eye. When I tell you, Joseph and Adam were at the plot right next to us.
I'm not out here yelling my eye, to be clear. I'm just like,
He's like, my eye. I'm shitting my eye. You didn't say
no, I'm saying nothing. I'm just sitting here.
Okay. Well,
it happens.
It's not fun having shit in your eye.
Yes.
And so he's like, has to go trying to figure it out. He has to go wash his hands off first, figure out what to do with this contact. Is he trying to build the shipwrecks with one eye? Is he going to do it? Whatever. So I'm like, you go figure that out. I'm going to try to build the manure and stuff. Joseph and Adam, I can see them looking over like, oh, we feel kind of bad. Should we help them? And then Joseph looks at me, still building the bricks, and he looks at him. He's like, keep building. I'm locked in trying to get it done. My method is not methoding. I cannot get this right. I'm not good at it. And so Kyland's like, look, just go get the dirt, go get the water. I'll tell you what to get. I'll tell you when I need you to do it. I'm like, okay, we have our roles. I can go do that. I'm running, going back and forth. And I'm still kind of like, a little pissy. They start asking me questions. Hey, Taylor. So how does it feel? Did you ever see yourself being a type of person that would be playing in manure? And I'm like, and then they're like, so you and Kyland have different communication styles, don't you? And I'm like, clearly we do. Yes, obviously. I have to get the dirt. Would you please leave me alone? So I go back over there. And I think this is like the moment I was really proud of. I was proud of when we were in the car and we had that like, hey, we're not good. Let's check in. But then this is the moment I was really proud of us. And I guess I'm sad it wasn't this episode. I come back over. He clearly has figured out how to do this. Like he's got a method. He's churning through the bricks. And I'm like, oh my God, you're a fucking genius. I was like, you're amazing. I was like, this is awesome. Look at how you're performing. Whatever I was mad about, pissy about, like, it does not matter. You are like, I was like, you're fucking cool. You're awesome. Like, go. And I will just do this. And I don't have to worry about being the most equal partner and getting down in the mud and building the bricks with you. Like, I'll be the runner. It's cool. And so we're locked in at this point. We're locked in, churning out the bricks. He's got his role. I got my role. We finish it. Another conversation. We did one check. We did another check. On the second check, the guy came back and told us that the bricks that were fine were actually wrong. So we had to do some more of them. That happened for a lot of teams, actually. A lot of teams, like on the first check, they're like, okay, you only have 2 wrong. And then the second check, they're like, actually, those other ones that I said were good? No, but that was not an episode. So anyway, yada, yada, yada. We wash our hands, get to the pit stop, run into Joseph and Adam. And on the next leg, I remember Joseph and Adam being like, you and Kyland were such a shit show. We were kind of mocking you guys when you first got there, but then you turned it around so fast. And he was like, I get it. He's like, I get you too now. Like, if you guys are like that on this race the entire time, and if you're locking in like that or like having arguments like that and then figuring it out and working together the way that we saw, he's like, nobody can say shit to you guys. Like, you guys are, it was just really cool having someone that I love and respect finally be like, not finally, I mean, you know, Adam maybe, but it was cool having them both be like, I understand it, you know?
This is also where the lapses are on my end on the social lapses, because I didn't know any of this was
happening. He was on the bricks.
I didn't know.
He couldn't see anything. He was on my eye. I get it.
No, she's talking, but I mean, this is, you know, she's like, yeah, like, you know, I was upset. And I was like, I didn't know you were upset. I thought when we solved this, it was solved.
Well, that's
or even the stuff with Joseph and Adam. Yeah.
Can I ask one question about the end of this leg? Because I'm glad I have you here because I have one question. You guys see Joseph and Adam driving to the pit stop. They say they're gonna lead you there. By the way, they can't find anything, so I'm surprised they led you there. But okay, so they lead you there, but on the understanding that you're gonna let them step on the mat first. They don't really think you're gonna let them, but I appreciate that you are. But then these two doofuses start chasing Phil around, trying to hug him. Taylor jumps in a little bit, and Kyland's just like, why do you two not step on the mat in that moment? They had their chance. They're doing their stupidity. Step on the mat, kids.
What I say, Brooke? What did I say at the top of the show? Do you know who the fuck we are? If we agree to something and then renege in that moment.
Yeah, but it was sort of, okay, I get it. Okay, fair enough. But I was sort of like, they had their chance.
You are correct for any other season.
It also didn't matter. And also, and we I didn't chase him as much, but we all messed up a little bit.
Yeah. You had a little.
I didn't chase him as much.
I was just sort of like, let's just come on.
He was having fun too.
Yes.
I do appreciate that you two also washed your hands, which was nice. That probably took 10 seconds. I don't know why
no, we had a good they did. We had a good time afterwards too. Like that was a nice. I think we had that day and then the next full day rest, which was needed just to try and clean the shoes and clothes that are covered in the manure. Like it was truly like, and I'd say laundry in the room was definitely a little bit of a resting point for because we're just together. So it was like the time I was like, okay, I'll just lock myself in the bathroom and do laundry. And that time was like 4 hours of like just trying to get the smell.
I think I throw those clothes out. Those clothes are not making it to the next race.
Yeah. The gays would have handled this challenge really well. But anyway,
you know what?
Okay, listen. Okay.
Leave it to you to chime in.
Okay, until it's clear, Taylor. I can't take y'all, but this has been so much fun. If
my parents don't understand this part of the podcast. Okay.
Because Taylor's a problem, okay? But we know Taylor would have cleaned too. But anyway, love y'all so much. Thank you so much for jumping on the Purple Pants podcast. Our pit stop coverage of Amazing Race, season 38, covering episodes 4 and 7 with the amazing, the talented, the beautiful Taylor and Kyland. Kyland also happens to be on the Brice Izyah 2026 Zaddy calendar. Yes.
Nice.
We will see you soon. Thank you, Kyland Taylor. Brooke, as always, thank you. And we will see you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you guys so much. Bye.
Ooh, it's the Purple Pants podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh, it's the Purple Pants podcast. You're trying to unwind. You better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants podcast. You're trying to get your snack. You better hurry right back, though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.